Good evening, good evening, good evening. The time is now 8:05 p.m. and you're tuned into another episode of Streams of Consciousness. My name is Hassan Robinson, also known as Professor. And usually every Monday around this time we have this program called Streams of Consciousness, where we seek to elevate the level of consciousness one conversation at a time. And tonight is no different than any other night. But at the same time, tonight is unique, as every other night could ever be. Tonight we're going to have a great conversation with our Dominic King called Ras Bobby. And we're going to be speaking on the topic of meditation, different types of meditation, the benefits of it. Do plants meditate? Do animals meditate? Is it something only limited towards the spiritual people? Can anyone else do it? Without further ado, I'm going to allow the Dominic King to introduce himself as we get into this program. It's an absolute pleasure here to be with Ras Bobby. Good night, King.
Well, I am Bobby Olivacee. I am from Point Michelle, even if I was born in Curaçao. So I grew up in Point Michelle. Maybe I lived there for like 25 years and then migrated to the Virgin Islands. Happy to be part of a fantastic family. My parents are now gone, but my sisters like Ophelia and my twin sister Claudette and Carol and Ingrid and Sylvia. All these are sisters that I have and that I appreciate so much. In fact, sometimes I wonder, why is it that the Most High gave me 7 sisters? And I guess it was to appreciate the role of the woman,
Right.
to observe them, to learn from them. So here I am back in Dominica, probably about a little over a year now. Enjoying it, of course, because living among the people that I grew up with, I'm absolutely happy to be here and to be able to share information with them.
Right.
Because in talking about awareness, awareness is education.
Right.
Awareness is memory.
Right.
Awareness is culture. So lots of things that we can talk about tonight. I'm looking forward to it. And a special big up to our Dominica people. Looking forward to seeing our superstar, Athanas, in a couple days. And I know the whole of Grand Bay going to be there. So I'm going to identify with this too, to say that my grandmother was from Grand Bay and she was a Henry. So looking forward to those days to come.
Positive. And there you have it, an official introduction. We're just gonna put some music to play and get things started, as I usually start up the program with a prayer, and just allow the program and the consciousness, the ultimate consciousness of the Creator to guide tonight's program. So yes, tonight's program, the breakdown of the program, we're going to have an introductory prayer. As I say, merciful Father Yahweh, guide and protect us tonight. Allow our conversations, our thoughts, our energies, our vibrations to be met and felt on the highest frequency, the frequency of love, communication, and good energy, good vibes. As we seek to elevate the level of consciousness through this conversation, may your words be heard, your vibrations be felt, your actions be inspiring to others as we continue to help elevate the level of consciousness. In your wonderful name I pray, hallelujah, amen. So my guest tonight here is Ras Bobby, who is a herbalist, a Rastafari elder, amongst many other hats. And we'll be speaking on the topic of meditation and its benefits in helping us to deal with the changes of life. Last week we had Mr. Dilma Basia, CEO of GenY Magazine, who is also a consciousness and spirituality advocate amongst many other things. We spoke on the topic of relationships. What is a relationship, the types of relationship, and why it is important for us to have a healthy, conscious relationship with ourselves. This segment will be speaking on meditation and its benefits, as I stated, and then we're gonna have a 3-minute music meditation session, and we're gonna do things differently tonight. Maybe have a guided meditation with Mr. Bobby himself, who's gonna show some breathing techniques, hopefully, and let's just get into it. So yes, Mr. Bobby, Dominic King, the first question that comes to mind when you hear the topic of meditation, what is meditation?
Well, meditation is basically one-pointedness of the mind. You could speak about it another way. You can say it means focus.
Okay.
So you hear people say, you're not succeeding because you're not focusing.
Right.
So there are different techniques to meditate. We advise that first thing in the morning, spend time with yourself.
Right.
Instead of focusing on some radio program or something on the computer or doing some arbitrary thing first thing in the morning, we advise you to take some slow, deep breaths. And while you take your slow, deep breaths, you just focus on your breathing.
Okay.
So that is the practice. Now, it is not difficult. The difficulty is to maintain it. The difficulty is to do it every day, to do it often. Maybe to do it even more than once a day. The best time I would say to do that is when your stomach is empty. So an ideal time, you drink your tea first thing in the morning, maybe some lemongrass, maybe some vervain, which we call vin latte wat, maybe some estafangil. So something that would help your brain, because you need some potassium phosphate so that you can maintain your focus. So slow, deep breaths, you focus on your breathing. The journey, the most important journey is a journey within. Because most people do not understand who they are. The ancient people suggested, man, woman, know thyself. So if you in a relationship with a woman and you want to know the woman, what do you have to do? You have to spend time with that woman. Likewise, if you want to know yourself, what do? You spend time with yourself. So you can recognize first and foremost that you are in the process of doing the most important thing. And the most important thing, literally, is to be able to keep breathing.
Imagine that.
So you focus on the most important thing first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. So what you're doing there is that you put in greater volumes of oxygen in your body. With all the science around, up to now they haven't found something more profound than oxygen. So take slow, deep breaths. You probably want to do like 20, 25, 30 slow, deep breaths. You don't want to be in a hurry. As the ancient people say, never hurry, worry. So you ingest great volumes of air and over a period of time. Maybe even after years of doing it every day. Then you become aware, even super aware. You become super conscious. So, breathing exercises puts vital energy, cosmic energy,
No problem.
universal energy in greater abundance in every cell of your body.
All right. So that's a lot to assimilate, but it's very simple at the same time. I read something somewhere that says the best thing to do, the first 15 minutes when you get up, because that's when your mind is more open and susceptible to starting your day. It basically determines how the rest of your day may follow on. Some people encourage getting up earlier in the morning because that's when they're more in tune with nature. Which then leads me to my next question, seeing that meditation is basically conscious focus or awareness to be in tune with the now. And there are different techniques you can do to become more aware, like you said, breathing techniques. But is that the only way, though? And
No, not at all. The ancient people, the African people, uses the drum.
Okay.
You see all African tribes, all African people use drums. So you drum, you cause everybody in that drumming session to be focused on the drum all at the same time.
So what is the connection between the drum, meditation, ourself, the frequency, and I understand it has to do with the heartbeat, the frequencies of the heart, especially depends on the type of drum, the pace in which, but I want it from your understanding from a deeper aspect of it in terms of the vibration of the drum and its connection to us and our nature and ancestral consciousness.
Okay, so drumming within African tribes is done like you'll see the belly and the women, the men and the women dancing and the people singing the love way. Okay, so we have 7 main organs in our body. Our reproductive organ, our pancreas, which is in our navel area. Our liver, which is in the region of the solar plexus. Our thyroid gland, or our heart, which is in the region of the chest. Our thyroid gland, which is in the region of the throat. And we have the third eye, which is the region where the Indian Hindus will put the red mark on their forehead. So that's the region of the mind eye, the eye that can see colors even when your eyes are closed.
Oh, wow.
And then you have the region of the head, like the soft part of the head. You know where the baby have the soft part on the head?
Yes.
So that connects to the pineal gland. Even the Psalms talk about the pineal gland. The pineal gland is the master gland. So the third eye uses light, uses color for energy. But the pineal gland uses sound. That's why people gravitate to music. So you fuse the drum with the words. So within the context of Rastafari, the drums entrances you, puts you in a trance, while you sing the song. Oh, when Rastafari get ready, they have to move. Okay, and various other chants within Rasta culture.
Right.
Within the general African culture, the drum is used in the belly and the love way. In ancient times, you see people on the side of the road drumming and singing, and everybody entranced. So this is another way to meditate. Then you could meditate on colors. You could just take a slow, deep breath and focus on a red object, a red flower. Take a slow, deep breath and just focus on a red hibiscus.
Okay.
You focus on the hibiscus for a while, then you breathe out, and then you breathe in, and you focus maybe on a marigold plant, or you focus on the sunset. The sunset is orange.
Right.
Then you focus on a bright yellow building, or you focus on a yellow flower.
Okay.
And then you go to the fourth one now, you focus on the color green. So green connects with the heart. So if you have a bad heart, you do breathing exercises in a green environment, and it will positively influence the heart.
Oh, wow.
And then the color blue, you focus on the sky. Because we're dealing with nature. Then dark blue, Navy blue, you focus on the region of the forehead, the third eye, and then purple. But all those colors, you have to visualize them bright. So when you're thinking of a hibiscus plant, you're thinking of a bright hibiscus plant, or the sunset, a bright sunset.
Yes.
Because you want to look at the colors in its bright, energetic form. And then the same thing you can do with sounds. You can meditate on sounds. So you'll hear people talk of the mantra. So you'll hear people talk of the universal sounds. Even within the context of Christianity, you'll hear people say Amen. The Hindu will say The Buddhist will say
Okay.
So it's a way of unity of purpose by getting people to understand that the art of focus is to teach yourself one-pointedness of the mind. And so once you master that art, you can transfer that consciousness in a project dedicated to serving humanity. So that is the ultimate meditation, to genuinely serve others. So you can meditate on sound, you can meditate on colors, you can meditate on the main nerve centers of the body, which they call chakras, or you can meditate on a project that you have created to serve other human beings in need. And you keep focusing on that every day. And basically, any positive vocation that you're into, you can transfer the art of meditation to cause it to happen easier. The ancients said, some of the ancient people say that if you think of an action without a conflicting thought, the body performs it always. So if you think of doing something and you focus absolutely on that which you think of doing, and you do that every day, you just have to know that it shall happen.
Yes.
So you be patient, and eventually it will happen.
Yes.
That is why they say people without vision will perish. So an individual without vision will perish. We know of a place in India, brother, where they call the Fountain of Youth, where the people get up every morning and all of them do stretches and breathing exercises together. You imagine the kind of energy that they could get by doing that together?
Yeah, man.
Just for goodness sake.
So that is very enlightening, I would say, because you made it seem simple, which it is, but it is also very powerful in the sense of everything has energy, and where you focus that energy brings even more amplitude towards that. And which leads to the last question before I go into the musical segment. If we look on a plant and focus on a plant, and let's say we look on the red hibiscus and the green trees and all of these things, and we connect with them and we feel that vibration, are they themselves meditating with us? Do plants meditate? I do understand that, our ancestors or elders tell us or encourage us to talk to plants. And in speaking with plants, would meditating with plants allow the plants themselves to gain a higher level of consciousness, or is that just me trying to anthropomorphize plants and the humanize plants, give plants human qualities, or is it something else?
I like that question because people think that these plants are dead and the plants are unconscious.
Okay.
There is a book called The Secret Life of Plants.
The Secret Life of Plants.
Yeah, people can check it on the e-books and so on the computer. The Secret Life of Plants. And it is amazing, my brothers and sisters, to know what plants are and what plants can do. Even the Russians use certain plants for espionage purposes.
Oh, wow.
So they put the plants in enemy territory, connect the plants to electrodes, and on a television screen they can feel they can see the emotions of the plants. Like you have a radio and the radio has needles, and when the decibels go up, you can see the needles change up and so.
Yes.
So it's the same way they know. They take hot oil and decided to throw the hot oil on the plant. And before they throw the hot oil on the plant, they check the emotions of the plant, and the plants were actually screaming,
Wow.
even before the oil was thrown on it. We know there are certain plants that produce fuel that can be used in cars. You understand? It is also known that if 10 people plant a ganja patch with the same seeds, different seeds from different people will cause the weed will have a different strength and a different energy depending on who plant the plants.
Wow.
Another thing, when people have farms and it's machines that plant the food, it is much different than if it's humans that plant the food. Because there's a transfer of energy from the human to the plant. So a lot of people look at the whole of creation as though creation is neuter gender. They have no respect for the elements. Like it was raining today and they call it bad weather. But the farmer was so happy that it was raining.
Yeah.
And they forget that water is one of the most crucial elements on the planet. So you have earth, which is the land, air, which is what you breathe, water, which we use for every single thing, including drinking and bathing, and fire, the sun. And then you have the irate.
The irate.
Or the spirit that connects all of them.
Yes.
So when a lot of people say, oh, there is no spirit, as though what is invisible is not real, you may want to push your hand in a socket to see how real it is.
Yeah.
And upon getting shocked, you'll realize that you've been shocked with some crucial invisibleness. And if the charge is high enough, it can even kill you.
Wow.
And every human being have that electromagnetic energy within them and within us.
All right, I'm going to take a pause here, put some music to play, and we're going to continue on the electromagnetic energies and how can we tie that into meditation to amplify our vibrational frequencies. So we're going to take a music break. This one from Nyora, Positive Herb. Of course, he's Ras Bobby's son, I believe, Dominic King, and it's just Conscious Vibrations. You're tuned into Streams of Consciousness. Special guest here tonight, Ras Bobby Olivacee, Herbalist, Conscious Advocate, and the Rastafari Elder.
Some say them love God, but them don't love marijuana. How could that be? Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Chuck, I'm floating high, can you see my eyes? I'm red, 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 red. Tap into cyanide, marijuana high in my head, Oh, me skunk herb, hit my brain nerve. I can't be misled. Both and purple haze, let the fire blaze with some lamb's bread, 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 bread. So if you feel a way about the herb, let it be positive all the time. If you feel a way about the herb, remember that it's creation divine. If you feel a way about the herb, let it be positive all the time. If you feel a way about the herb, homegrown weed is the best weed to find now. Check the benefits when you're using it. It's so deep, 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 deep. When you're full of stress, it will help you rest during sleep, 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 sleep. If you got a task, all you got to ask is for strength, 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 strength. Smoke up the sacrament with a good intent amongst your brethren, them. So if you feel a way about the herb, let it be positive all the time. If you feel a way about the herb.
And it's not just towards the herb, it's towards anything that has you in an altered state of consciousness. As you know, cannabis has its unique cannabinoid properties. There's medical books on there. Like the list is endless for the many positive benefits of cannabis, as well as the endless and negative connotations attributed to it. And so it's a form. Some people say it's like an open door towards meditation. It allows them to be focused on certain things. Others argue that cannabis makes you more passive aggressive, and there's a deeper conversation we'll have a little bit later on that. And so this one here is from another Dominican called Ras Organic, talking about being a brave heart. We also had Ras Organic here on the program. That was a very interesting conversation as well. Deep conscious brother.
Can't take the legacy. Them a go know who my mama and my papa be. Every single day, pouring out the energy. Spectators them looking from far, wonder how we manage it. When things get dread in the system, I know no one wants to be a victim. We come together, whole a reasoning. People tell me, are you listening?
And that is something I want to tackle too whilst we have Mr. Bobby here. In terms of how can meditation help with the aggression that we're seeing from our youth.
He's all we need. Braver, we got they just can't harm us. Your love is all we need. No power to the go-getters. Can't you see we are professionals? Open up your pupils and your retinas. Open up your receptors. Make a link with the great ancestors. Like diamond, you feel it? It's forever.
This one is from another Dominican we had on the program, Cali I. This one is called Country, Dominica.
Forever. Rich forever. 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 Can't take away country from me. Yeah. Yeah. And even if them take away me from the country, can't take the country from me. Yeah. From me. Yeah. I got some real dogs that want me. I got to say, can't never go nowhere without countries. You know, dog, you say. Dear one dogs, them know me. Hold on, can the guy fight always, feel win, but no fight fee, no trophy.
Fight to win, but not fight for the trophy. Very powerful line here. But the time is now 8:32 p.m. and usually around this time we have a meditation session. We spend about 30 seconds to a minute giving the creator his due awareness and respect. And it's an absolute pleasure to have Mr. Ras Bobby here with me tonight. So I'm going to allow him to take over this conscious breathing segment, and where he can let us know the importance of breathing like he stated earlier, and maybe demonstrate some breathing techniques. Are you okay with doing that with us here tonight, Mr. Bobby? Sorry. Say that one more time.
Yes. So when you get up in the morning or during your times of meditation, it would be good if you could go on the beach. It would be good if you could go on the beach or you go on a mountain somewhere. We know Dominica have a lot of spaces where the air is clean. And you simply take a slow deep breath.
So, can I take a deep breath with you real quick?
Yes. Imagine that your whole abdomen your lung region is like a tube.
Okay.
So you want the lower regions of your body of the tube to full up first, and then the middle up area full up, and then the top of the lungs full up, and then when you breathe out, you imagine the air from the upper part coming out first, then the middle part, and then the lower part. And for now, even if you cannot focus on it like that, because as simple as it sounds, it takes a little practice. You simply breathe out first and empty your lung. So you breathe out and take your chin to your chest, and you take a slow deep breath and bring your head back as far back as possible, but in slow motion. So you keep your breath and maybe count up to 8 or 10, and then you breathe out and bring your chin to your chest while you empty your lungs completely, and then you slowly take a deep breath in. Again, you keep your breath for a while. Maybe you count up to 8, and then you breathe out while you bring your chin to your chest. Empty your lungs and slowly breathe in again. So all the time while you're doing this, you absolutely focused on your breathing. Don't be afraid to focus on your breathing.
Yes.
All it will do is that it'll put you in a very blissful space. So all pain is gone. You do those breathing exercises, you count up to 21 or 30. And
So
you probably will forget you have pain.
next question. If I have, take for example, I have a stiff neck, or I have like the flu or something, or I have one of my nostrils a block, or that type of thing. Is there a way to work around the breathing techniques, or would the breathing techniques help to alleviate some of those things?
It will definitely help. If you take a walk and you keep doing your breathing exercises while you're walking, little by little the cold will go. And even while you're walking, you could spit that mucus out. But then if you cannot breathe through your nostrils because your nostrils are blocked, so how do you breathe?
Some breathe through our mouths, I guess.
Naturally, you breathe through your mouth. Because a lot of people think you can only meditate by breathing through your nose, but you can inhale that oxygen through your mouth. You understand?
Yes.
And then there is that M sound. If you're in pain, you go, Or probably if you're trying to have a baby, you might use the same sound. Okay, so the point I'm making is that the M sound is very relaxing.
It resonates with the Om sound.
Yes, so you can take a deep breath and use the M sound. And then do it again. Many people who suffer from stress, that's what they need to do. You do 15, 20, 30 minutes of breathing exercises in the morning, brothers and sisters out there, but the brothers in particular. And you'll be surprised how you can control your emotions during the day. Because doing slow deep breathing exercises, while you're doing that, it gives you a great sense of well-being. Because as simple as it sounds, it continues to be the most important thing that you can do. My brother, in ancient times, all the tribes, they were into some kind of meditation, especially drum meditation. They used to have the tribe meditate together. Let me tell you, my brother, every cell in our body is an intelligent being. Quantum physics have proven this. Now it is said that if the human being can cause each cell to think the same thought at the same time, that which one is thinking will manifest like abracadabra.
So
if you have a village and everybody in the village thinks the same thoughts at the same time, it shall happen. We see that happen in Point Michel already.
Okay.
We went to every village, to every household in Point Michel over 30 years ago and spoke to the people about setting up a playground in our village. And everybody thought that it was a good idea. But we couldn't afford to pay for the land. So when we went to some of the owners, Mr. Sidney Pemberton at the time, and we asked him whether we could develop the land, and he said, even if I'm for it, because it's a family affair, I cannot give permission for it to happen. So we say, what about if we go and do it? He say, well, you can go if you wish, but I cannot tell you to go. So subsequently, we mobilized Mr. Joey Astafans and Mr. Winston and asked them to come and flatten the land for us. And even if the land was not legally ours, when the caterpillars come, the whole village converged on the land and nobody could stop it. So I'm just telling the people, telling you out there, how people can cause things to happen together, individually, and that meditation can happen as a collective.
If there was one area in society, I know there are a lot of different things, but if there were one area in society where consciousness, you'd like to see more consciousness in our society, what would that area be?
Well, most definitely one of the areas is natural healing. Because if it's not natural healing, my brother, it is what you call, I would even call it witchcraft. I see the pharmacy as a region of witchcraft that people can alleviate themselves from if they get aware of the herbs. Again, to become conscious of the herbs. The Bible says, behold, I've given you every herb bearing seed. It shall be for medicine, and the fruits thereof shall be for meat. So let us continue to be more conscious of the herbs around us. Okay. Let us not be fooled by the witchcraft around us. And I'm specifically talking about the pharmaceutical. Because so many things they're talking about, oh, they're healing this, but every single drug have so many side effects. So it's not me saying that. These side effects are real, and we have to be careful about that. So we have to get more conscious about that. We have to get more conscious about planting our own food. We must stop depending on the cargo that comes from abroad. We have to be more conscious of what time it is. This is revelation time. And we need food. So in addition to being the service community that we seek to be, no matter what, we should aim to be able to feed ourselves. Because in addition to the herbs that I as a herbalist would want to give you, our brother Dejan, our sister Nats, or those whoever herbalists are out there would want to give you, what goes hand in hand with the herbs that we want to give you is the food. Because your food is your medicine, my brothers, and your medicine is your food. So even in terms of consciousness, there are herbs like peyote. There are herbs like cannabis. And in reading all the information in the past with the Don Juan books and so on, we realize that those agents teach us to meditate. I remember years ago I had a toothache and I was forced to go to the dentist to remove the tooth. And after taking some Novocaine to numb my gums because of the pain that I would expect to get as a result of that extraction, I understood how people get hooked on cocaine. Because for half an hour, the bliss that I felt was unimaginable. It's as though you come home on a Friday afternoon and you have Friday off, Saturday off, and 2 days off for carnival. You're not necessarily into carnival, but you realize you have 4 days in front of you that you can really relax. And it's Friday afternoon, and you put your hand down, you take out your shoes, and you do some breathing exercises. And just that realization that you're not going to be burdened with worrying about going to work tomorrow. That sense of carefreeness. Is that is what we deserve as human beings every day. You can be feeling bad right now, my brother. I could give you something that you can check yourself. somehow suffering from headaches, or people out there suffering from headaches. You do slow, sweet, deep breathing exercises constantly until your headache is gone. In addition to that, you may want to use some rosemary tea, or you may want to use some mezemawi. All these are nerve tonics. You may also want to use the cannabis plant as a tea. So we're not suggesting to you to smoke it for relieving the headache. We're suggesting to you to make tea with it. We're also suggesting to you that you may want to bake it a little bit and drink the oil, drink the cannabinoids that come out of the cannabis plant and sips into the olive oil, and you'll see. I mean, those of you who need that kind of relaxation, you can connect with us and we can give you ideas as to how you can get them, because there are some local people who are producing them. So in terms of consciousness, cannabis have been used to raise our consciousness from time immemorial. In fact, I read a book years ago called The Emperor Wears No Clothes. Now is the emperor in that case is a metaphor.
Okay.
The emperor is the cannabis plant. And what the writer was saying is that they were proving that those who constantly use cannabis cannot be mentally controlled. So I guess sometimes that is what the system is worried about in terms of cannabis.
Bob Marley say make you rebel.
Yes. So, but the idea about it is to utilize the plant for meditation.
Okay.
You will hear African people always talk about taking bush baths. The bush baths, Utiwe Lama Waj. So it is known that people always get off balance. And there is a way to put them in balance. And one of the ways to put them in balance is to utilize bush baths. So there are people who may need advice in that respect, and we have information in terms of what they can use. Like Man Better Man, like Kojo Week, like rosemary. Use 3 herbs at a time. Boil the water, crush the herbs in the water, infuse them, let them draw for at least half an hour. Then you may add some more water to cause it to be slightly lukewarm, but still warm enough to induce sweating. So you get into, in ancient times when you used to have that big galvanized zinc basin, you could put hot water in that halfway, put the herbs to sip there for like half an hour to an hour, then open the pipe and let that room temperature water mix with that hot tea. And then you just sit down in there for half an hour, pouring that water on your head, drinking some of the same tea that you make to bathe with.
Not to interrupt you, but by actually doing it, you said 2 things. As I want to have like 2 points before we wrap it up closely. The first one being the pharmaceutical companies and witchcraft. Just for the sake of radio, I have to say that the views and the opinions expressed on this program is not that of the BS radio, and therefore they cannot be accountable for such. Yeah, that's just a disclaimer on there. Also, you said something about you said something about like the zinc of the galvanized. Did they use the zinc because of the elements in there, like as in zinc, copper, gold, these things? Did our ancestors encourage us bathing in showers, like how or do they encourage more of the baths? Because when you have a baby, the baby is more soaked into the bath or the tubs. And is that tied into the meditation now? Does that tie into the spirituality of mucus, in that sickness comes from mucus? Does meditation and consciousness help alleviate the mental mucus? And if you're not aware, if you're not conscious or woke, can just taking a simple bath in certain things help with that alleviation process as well?
Of course. So if you want to clear your head, use the rosemary, use the verveine, use the mezemawi, boil the water, draw it, and bathe from head to toe. And so the hot water will open the pores, As you know, heat causes expansion. So it will open the pores and the minerals in the herb will go into your body.
Right.
So yes, it helps with meditation like that. Some people will also use the essential oils like the patchouli or the same rosemary oil or the coconut oil to create that kind of the mist, to inhale.
Okay.
So some people would alleviate the headaches or help their meditation by putting Vicks in the hot water. Then you put a towel over your face and then you inhale. Even with people who have issues with asthma and bronchitis, they can do those things to eliminate the mucus from the nostrils, to eliminate the mucus from the lungs and bronchial tubes. So, yes, the use of the metals in natural healing is crucial because by bathing in the hot water in the zinc basin, it would help an individual relieve himself, so say, from urine that cannot come out because of the zinc in the zinc container. So the use of copper, for example, would help to alleviate pain. So yes, our people have used metals from a long time. We know gold is the metal that offers the least resistance, and our ancient people used to wear metals like crystal metals and golden metals and metals of precious stones to multiply their energies.
How does that tie into our hair, our antennas? Do you have to have dreadlocks to be connected on those deeper levels in terms of maximizing your connectivity with nature, or is it something that is just innate with everyone?
Okay, so it is known that students with long hair are the best students. At the same time, I ain't judging anybody who don't have long hair, because love is the highest vibration. So a man who lives in love versus a man who have locks, who does a lot of evil things, is relative.
Well said.
At the same time, our hair is like, as you said, antennas. If you cut your locks, it bleeds repair fluids from the cut ends. And you can see the repair fluids if you use a microscope.
Wow.
So the human being, all that is within us and all that is on us is energy. You may not feel your hair, but your hair carries energy, carries vibrations. So the hair on our head can even connect you to telepathic things. It connects you to divine emanations. So you will observe the yogis of India have long hair. The Baifal of Senegal, who are also dreadlocks, have long hair, and likewise Rastafari have long hair. As the Morgan brothers say, you don't have to have locks to be Rasta.
Yeah.
So it's really a meditation and a way of life that relates to love and culture and history and all the beautiful things that make human beings as beautiful as we are.
Definitely. Ras Bobby, it's been an absolute pleasure to share this meditation with you. The time is now 8:54, moving up to 8:55. We're going to make way for the next program. But your wrapping up statements, your closing statements, I would love to hear you share that vibration with the people. And of course, if you're now tuning in or now listening, you can always review the conversation on Dominica's broadcasting station as well as my Facebook page. I'll try my best to share it. Or you can like and share with your friends and families as we try to help elevate the level of consciousness here. And so let's let the people know how they can contact you, some of the stuff that you might have available, and just let them know overall, your meditation and how you approach life.
Yeah, so I work from Point Michelle. I work on behalf of Ras Bobby Herbal Products. We produce a variety of herbal products for different reasons, like the cascara to clean the bowels, roses plus to clean the blood and to strengthen the immune system, bladderwrack to clean the bladder, to clean the kidney and to help with arthritis and rheumatism, dandelion to help with the prostate, but also to help as a digestive agent and also as a blood tonic, among other things. Then we have hydrangea that help with the removal of stones and cysts. We have comfrey and garlic to help with the coughs and colds and flus, arthritis, conditions like COVID and the like. It helps relieve the lungs of mucus. And then we have Essiac, which is a fantastic cleanser that's used together with cascara and rosehips as basic clean out to start off. And we also have a lot of advice for those who need one-on-one consultations. You can call me at 767-225-9153, 767-225-9153 is the number to connect with me for products or for one-on-one consultations. Looking forward to meeting a lot of people who I expect to meet at the ball field. Looking forward to Atanas making 100.
Yes, sir.
A good start to his career, which I know is going to be a good one. So my brother Hassan, endless love, endless thanks to you and your family, and to the government and people of Dominica, endless love. Don't forget to remember, Ras Bobby love you.
Yeah, man. Much love. Hey, have you ever wondered what our society would be like if there was more consciousness around, more positivity being displayed on social media and on the airwaves? Well, join me, Hassan Professor Robinson, every Monday on Dominica's broadcasting station between the hours of 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. on a brand new program called Streams of Consciousness, where we seek to raise the level of consciousness one conversation at a time. So, tell a friend to tell a friend that consciousness is back on the airwaves. And remember, stay positive, stay conscious, stay tuned.
You listen to DBS for unbiased coverage of breaking news, original programs, and so much music. You listen for the information that will change your lives and the humor to brighten your days. So here at DBS Radio, we deliver. We deliver timely news, information to live by, and